Our friends over at New Wave Toys have sent me their latest Replicade cabinet for review. We have the Street Fighter 2 cabinet, which is one I've been keeping my eye on for quite a while, and I'm really excited to get my hands on it. So we're going to take a look at it. This is Steve from Restalgia, and let's get started. So as I mentioned, I'm really excited about this cabinet from New Wave Toys. If you are a fan of my channel, you know that I've done a review video on their Tempest cabinet, and I also have their first Centipede cabinet as well. And as much as I do enjoy their other cabinets, the truth is those games were long before my time. By the time I was old enough to start getting into video games, Centipede and Tempest had long been replaced with home consoles and more modern 8 and 16-bit style cabinets going into whatever was left of the arcades across North America. My dad owned a shop when I was a kid, and he used to drag me out of bed every weekend and take me into work with him. And as much as he used to tell me he was going to put me to work, he always used to let me wander the mall and snack on the treats he had in the shop. Well, this mall in particular always had a few arcade machines to play, and you guessed it, Street Fighter 2 was one of those cabinets. They would rotate new ones in and out, but Street Fighter stayed, and I have no doubt it was because it was the most popular machine they had. I used to spend countless hours and quarters playing this game, and this cabinet brings back a ton of fond memories. It looks like New Wave Toys has slightly redesigned and changed the outer box. It's subtle but greatly improved. You can really tell that this company's put a lot of focus on the small things, and honestly it shows. The artwork on the box is pretty cool in the sense that the front of the box shows the front of the cabinet, and then each sides of the box shows that respective side of the cabinet as well. This is the first cabinet New Wave Toys has released with more than one game. We get both Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition as well as Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Additionally, we get a bonus mini fight stick to allow for more than one player to play. Let's get this thing open and have a look inside. So out of the box we get the console itself, we get that mini fight stick that I just mentioned, we get 4 mini tokens just like we do with all of our other Replicade cabinets. These aren't used for anything yet, but I believe they're going to be integrated with the new coin machine USB hub New Wave is developing, so be sure to hold on to them. We get 2 micro USB cables, one is going to be for the fight stick, and the other one's going to be for charging the actual cabinet. And finally, we also get their nicely made manuals and an extra set of rubber feet just in case yours fall off at some point in the future. Looking at the cabinet itself, it's about 12 inches tall, and it is well built and feels really solid. We've come to expect this from Replicade. Every cabinet they've put out has had this incredibly superior feel to it, and it just looks and feels amazing. It was designed to be a true replica of the original Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition cabinet, just brought down to a 1/6 scale size. The marquee, screen bezel, and control deck all represent this, including notching on the edges of the control deck. The obvious change here is in the control deck, being that it's designed only with enough controls for one player. This is because you wouldn't ever be able to get 2 working sets of controls onto that tiny deck, and honestly it would be completely unplayable if you tried. This is why the fight stick was included. That allows for 2 people to comfortably play this cabinet at the exact same time. Now I do want to mention that the screen that they're using here is not the proper aspect ratio, but in my personal opinion, and from what I've experienced playing with it, it really isn't that noticeable in terms of the different aspect ratio. If you're a little bit concerned that it isn't the exact aspect ratio of the screen, I would say don't worry about it too much unless that's something that really bothers you. The controls actually feel really good, and the button response and feedback is great. New Wave used real micro switches in the controls and in the joysticks, so you get a really authentic feel, albeit the controls are 1/6 the size. The controls feel good, and for a cabinet this small, they do feel perfect. As with the other previous 2 cabinets, the assembly is made out of a nice wood and feels really high quality. Additionally, we have 2 metal functioning but also non-functioning coin mechanism doors. It doesn't allow you to insert the coin, which, by the way, New Wave Toys, if you are watching, you should 1000% adjust the coin mechanism to accept the mini tokens and have that trigger the insert coin button. That would just be an amazing thing to include, but I understand that that makes things substantially more complicated. Anyway, the coin return buttons light up and they are pressable. When pressed, it tells the cabinet a theoretical coin has been added to the machine for play. Now there's actually two buttons that you can press, a button on the left and a button on the right. The left button triggers the coin, the right button accesses your menu. In that menu you can choose between your two games, you can adjust the difficulty of the game, you can actually switch player 1 and player 2 controls, so if you want to just use the fight stick as your player 1 control, you can set your settings that way there. And you also have the ability here to turn off the light for the marquee. Additionally, you can control the backlit of the LCD screen and you can make it brighter or less bright depending on what your personal preference is and your surroundings. I absolutely love all these small details about the cabinet. The sides of the cabinet are just black, just like the original, and of course they have their Street Fighter II logo displayed. The top and the back of the cabinet is where you're going to find your stereo speakers as well as your power and volume control dial, but there are a few new things that they've added here. We have some USB ports which are used to connect the mini fight sticks for multiplayer use, and we also have a small compartment which can be used to house the USB cords and a second controller. A really neat feature included is that this compartment actually lights up when the console is running, with the statuesque color scheme of red, blue, and white lights making the compartment look like it is its own display cabinet. This storage area makes taking the cabinet on the go really convenient. One thing I hope to see in all future cabinets coming out from them is going to be the addition of an HDMI out port. It would be absolutely amazing to be able to output your video from the cabinet to a larger TV. Taking a closer look at the fight stick, I'm incredibly impressed overall. I was a little worried that the fight stick would feel a bit awkward in your hands, but with the form factor it actually works well and it feels like you're just holding a small controller. The micro switches in the controller work well and the joystick feels great and it's really nice and tight. I didn't have as much trouble pulling off the player's special moveset as I thought I might. Additionally, if you want to purchase a second mini fight stick so both players can have a better view, those are absolutely available for sale right on the New Wave website. New Wave toys have outdone themselves again. The emulation itself on the console is right on point. And because this is officially licensed by Capcom, we are using the proper ROMs and know the hardware was designed with that in mind. The screen is absolutely stunning and displays the 16-bit colors in all their glory. Now, as I mentioned, the aspect ratio isn't 100% original, but it doesn't really affect gameplay that much. Absolutely, there are people out there who are going to be really upset that the screen size isn't exactly the proper aspect ratio, but honestly, for what you're getting in this package, it's really not a big deal. Smaller screens like this can be hit or miss, but a quality screen was selected and the game looks really good. The cabinet is a limited edition and will only have a limited number in production. They retail for about $120, which is on the higher side of the market for items like this, but comparing the quality of this cabinet to anything else in its size, it completely blows everyone else out of the water. And if you're into these mini cabinets, I highly suggest you pick one up before they're out of production. I'll leave links to grab one in the description down below as always. And that's all I've got for you for this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Thank you New Wave Toys for sending this out, and thank you guys so much for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this and give the video a thumbs up. Let me know down below what you guys think of this cabinet and if you would buy one. But that's it. Thanks again. I'll talk to you guys again real soon.